Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Kimberly Cox from Magical Mommy Spot, and I took a couple days off from Vlogtober, but we are back. I wanted to do a really quick video today because all the stuff that I kind of had planned kind of got thrown off track because things have been crazy. So what I want to do is take a minute and talk to you guys about how I get everything done that I need to get done. So I think that's one of those questions that I get asked often, like how do you homeschool and get work done and, you know, still have a life and keep your house somewhat clean and things like that. So first of all, I want to start by saying the answer is I don't get it all done. I do not get everything done every day. It just doesn't happen. I was watching a video and somebody had brought up when it comes to homeschool and doing stuff, and I'll have to look and figure out who it was so I can properly quote them in the description box. But it was like, life is a juggling act. Don't drop the same ball twice. And once I heard that particular quote, it made a ton of sense to me. Do not drop the same ball twice. And so that is the new theme for our household. It is the new theme that I am teaching my children. You know, you can have a bad day and you cannot do stuff. Just don't do it. Don't do it twice in a row. Don't drop the same ball twice. So what that means is I have to lower my expectations a little bit so that I am able to like meet the expectations and exceed them. So a lot of my expectations go like, if I get up and I get dressed and I have some coffee and I have my morning time, that's one thing checked off the list that has to happen every day. And then I get the kids in some kind of a learning process, whether that's watching a video on YouTube that is educational, that is teaching them about something they're interested in, and then asking them questions to make sure that they retained some of it. It could be doing a craft project. It could be doing a science project. It could be teaching them steps around cleaning the house, or, you know, doing like life skill kind of stuff. I have to back myself up a little bit to where my expectations are just a little bit lower than a lot of people would think is appropriate, I guess. But especially when you're in a season of, I don't want to call it limbo, it's like transition. And so since it's transition, it's kind of getting everybody used to things takes some time. And so not only is it not getting everything done every day, but it's also giving myself grace when I do drop a ball twice in a row, but we don't drop it 3 times in a row. And, you know, you have to give yourself grace and work with yourself on that. So one thing is lowering expectations, deciding what is important. So like I said, my important things are my personal time, because if I'm right and feel like I can give, if my cup is full, then I can give more to people. The next thing I prioritize is obviously my children's education in some way, shape, or form. Right now, as we're deschooling, there's a lot less emphasis on book work and workbook and things like that, and more emphasis on what do you want to learn today. You need to do some kind of learning. You get to choose. So that is a place that we go to. And then my next, there's 2 that tie. One is my relationships with friends and family, and the other is my house and keeping my space as clean as possible so I don't go insane. So I try to have certain, routines, like making sure that the dishwasher is emptied in the morning and everything gets put in before bed so that I can run it at night, and then in the morning I can empty it. And when I have that kind of a cycle going, we're good. Everything stays relatively clean. We don't have dishes laying everywhere, and we always have dishes that we need for the day. I try to plan out my meals so I know what I'm going to do. Sometimes we switch meals around because people don't feel like having what we're supposed to have that day, which is fine. I try to have a week's worth planned out, and then if we need to switch this here or move that there or whatever, then that's what we do, and that's fine. When it comes to the rest of the house cleaning, I'm still working on a good schedule for us. And I think that that's just going to come in time as I start to teach the kids more too, because they're going to be responsible for more. So it's a work in progress. But again, as I delegate more, and that's another one, is to delegate things so that you're not trying to take it all on yourself. And to explain to people, if you need to, the reason you're delegating. A lot of times I have to tell my kids, like, you want to go do this fun thing, and you want me to help you with this project, and you want to sit down and work on this thing. And that takes time. And mommy has all these things on her list. So if I can get some of these things off my list and you guys can help me with them, that's going to free up time so that we can work on the stuff that you need, that you would like to work on. And, a lot of people will say, well, you're deschooling, you should be, spending all your time with them. I live with them. We are in a very small apartment right now, and they are always around me. So even when I'm doing dishes and cooking and working on my own work, I'm paying attention to what they are doing. So that is another whole side of things where, for me, because of our situation, it makes it a little bit easier for us to do that kind of stuff. So those are some of the, I guess, tips that I have for getting stuff done. The final one, and I've already kind of touched on this, but it's just give yourself grace. Some days you are not going to be able to get everything, and some days you're going to drop 2 balls in a row. Some days it's just going to happen. There are certain circumstances, obviously, where it's expected to happen. If you are sick and you are actually very sick and you are down for the count for a week, you're not going to pick up any of those balls for that week. Like, it just is. That is a situation where you need to release it and just understand that until this gets resolved, until you feel better, until, whatever, this is how it's going to be. Other situations, when your kids are sick, when family members are sick or an emergency happens, things like that, when it is out of your control and you do not have an idea when it's going to get better, when you're going to feel better, you need to give yourself grace for those things. Also, there is something to be said for giving yourself grace just because you've done really well. I did 10 days in a row of videos, 9 for Vlogtober, and I did 1 the day before we decided to do Vlogtober. So I did 10 days in a row. I had given myself a Sunday off because things got out of hand and I was not feeling up to recording, and I wanted to do a World Mental Health video, but it just wasn't in the cards. It wouldn't have turned out right, and I knew that. So I gave myself that day as a day off. And then I kind of gave myself the entire day off, which meant that Monday became the day of catch up for everything that I didn't get done Sunday, plus Monday's stuff, which then put me out of being able to record. So I had to say to myself, okay, like, you're allowed to do this. This is fine. It's okay. But you got to get back on. And I thought that this was a perfect video to get back on with, because it is exciting for me to watch myself grow just as a human being, and knowing that, like, as a mom and as an entrepreneur, and knowing that as I'm going through all of this stuff and I'm learning and I'm growing, I'm able to share with you all, kind of documenting in a way how things are, getting better and where the growth is happening. And that's one place that I think the growth is definitely happening, is in me feeling more like I want to get back on. It used to be very difficult for me to get back on once I had gotten knocked off. If I had a really good run, 9 days is a really good run, actually 10, and getting knocked off would almost definitely make me just stop doing Vlogtober altogether before, because it just felt very not okay. And now I'm starting to get to a place where I'm like, okay, like, you're allowed to have days off, and you're allowed to have days where you just don't feel up to it. You just have to get back on, and you have to keep going. So I would love to know in the comment section what you guys do to get it all done. I know that a lot of these were very basic, but a lot of these are just tried and true things that I do all the time. I have another video that I did, I think it was day 3 or 4 of Vlogtober, where I talked about how I get myself to do stuff. And if you're stuck and you're feeling like, I have all of these things that need to be done, but I just don't know how to get to a place where I'm doing them, check out that video. That is actually my process. It's almost my process every single week, just to get the week planned out. It's also exactly how I get myself unstuck when I notice that I'm sitting in that limbo and not doing anything. Because let's face it, there's something to be said for rest, and there's something to be said for relaxing and for allowing things to unfold. However, sometimes we need to be the ones that put in the effort, that put in the work, that actually continue to move things forward, even if it doesn't feel quite right. So I'm going to leave you with that. I am Kimberly Cox from Magical Mommy Spot. I vlog, and podcast about mommy life and homeschooling and manifestation and just getting stuff done. So I am super excited. If you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so that you do not miss a single episode of the goodness and the craziness that happens around here. Give this video a big thumbs up if you think that if you got any value out of this, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.